The Krillian war fleet had made a fatal miscalculation. They had studied humanity for cycles, documented their weaknesses, catalogued their fears. But they had missed the most important detail. Humans didn't just fight for themselves. Elena pressed her back against the cold metal of the colony shelter, her rifle empty, her leg shattered from the plasma blast. The 3 Valdrin children, refugees from a world the Krillians had already scorched, huddled behind her, their crystalline eyes wide with terror. The eldest couldn't have been more than 7 in human years. "Stay behind me," she whispered, her voice steady despite the blood pooling beneath her. Through the smoke, she could see the Krillian shock troops advancing, their mandibles clicking in what passed for laughter among their kind. Commander Zexithar led the squad personally. Humans were his specialty. He had broken 23 colonies, killed thousands. This wounded female would be 24. "Human," he chittered, his translator rendering it in mocking tones. "Your weapon is depleted. Your body is broken. Surrender the Valdrin spawn and we will grant you a swift end." Elena looked down at the children. The youngest, barely 4, had wrapped her small arms around Elena's waist. They were crying, soft musical sounds that broke something in her chest. She had promised their parents she would keep them safe. That promise was all she had left. "No," Elena said simply. Zexithar's mandibles spread wider. "Then die slowly, human. We will take them anyway." The first Krillian stepped forward. Then Adam's voice crackled through Elena's comm, distant but clear. "Elena, status?" She touched her throat mic with a bloodied hand. "Guardian down. Cubs are safe. For now." Her voice caught. "Tell my sister, hold on." Adam cut her off. His tone had changed. Gone was the easy humor, the casual warmth. This was the voice of humanity's wrath. "Just hold on." Zexithar heard it too through the open comm. He laughed. "One more human? What difference?" Elena smiled, though it cost her. "You don't understand. That's not just one more human." She looked directly at Zexithar. "That's my partner. That's the man I love, and you just hurt me in front of him." The commander's confidence wavered. "What?" "You should run," Elena whispered. The colony's perimeter alarms began to scream. Adam came through the eastern wall like a force of nature. He hadn't bothered with the door. The powered armor he wore, civilian grade, meant for construction, tore through reinforced steel as if it were paper. Behind him, every human on the colony was coming. Miners, engineers, teachers, doctors, armed with mining lasers, plasma cutters, whatever they could carry. But Adam was faster. He crossed the 100 meters in seconds. The first Krillian turned, weapon rising, and Adam simply swatted it aside. The alien flew 15 feet. Armor crumpled, dead before it hit the ground. Zexithar fired his plasma rifle directly at Adam's chest. The blast that would have vaporized an unarmored human left a smoking crater in the construction suit's plating. Adam kept coming. "She's bleeding," Adam said, his voice a cold promise. "She's hurt. And you made the children cry." He reached Zexithar in 2 more steps. The commander, veteran of 100 battles, warrior of the Krillian Empire, suddenly understood the mistake his entire species had made. Humans weren't apex predators because they were the strongest or fastest. They were apex predators because when you hurt their pack, they became something else entirely. Adam's armored hand closed around Zexithar's throat. "She told you to run. You should have listened." The other Krillians did run then. They scattered like leaves before a storm, broadcasting panic across all frequencies. But the humans were everywhere now. A tide of righteous fury, and there was nowhere to go. Adam knelt beside Elena, his armored hand suddenly gentle as he assessed her wounds. "Medic!" he roared. "I need a medic here now." The Valdrin children were still crying, but differently now. The youngest looked up at Adam with wonder. "You came," she whispered in broken standard. "Always," Adam said softly, never taking his eyes off Elena. "When someone threatens our family, we always come." Elena reached up, her hand finding Adam's face through the helmet's open visor. "Took you long enough, Marine." "Had to get the neighbors," he said, and she could hear the tremor in his voice, the fear he'd been suppressing. "You scared me." "I'm okay," she lied as medical teams rushed forward. "You better be." He squeezed her hand carefully. "Because I haven't asked you to marry me yet, and I'll be damned if I let some bug-faced raiders ruin my timing. Despite everything, the pain, the fear, the blood." Elena laughed. The Krillian Empire received the distress signal from Zexthar's unit. By the time they decoded it, the message was clear. 3 words that would reshape their entire understanding of warfare. Humans protect cubs. It wasn't a tactical assessment. It wasn't a warning about human weapons or technology. It was something far more dangerous. An acknowledgement that humans didn't fight hardest for themselves, but for those they chose to protect. The war ended 3 cycles later, not because humanity had better ships or weapons, but because the Krillian Military Council made a rare unanimous decision: never attack human territory again. Never threaten their young or their chosen ones. Some threats they realized too late you couldn't calculate or quantify. Some threats came from something deeper than logic or strategy. They came from love. And love, when armed and armored and absolutely furious, was the most terrifying force in the galaxy. Elena recovered fully, though she walked with a slight limp. Adam did eventually ask her to marry him, 6 months later at sunset with 3 Valdran children as eager witnesses. The youngest became their flower girl at the wedding. The scar on Elena's leg became a reminder, not of what she'd lost, but of what she'd protected. And every time she saw those 3 Valdran children grow and thrive in the colony they'd saved, she remembered humanity's greatest strength was never its weapons. It was its unwillingness to abandon those who needed protection. It was the promise that said, "Touch our family," and face the storm, and the galaxy learned to respect that promise because humans always kept their word. End